Do you treat your mind like your biggest asset? Welcome to this edition of Tuesday Talks with Twyla. If you treated your mind like your biggest asset, what would be different in your life? I heard this today and I was like, even I don't do this. And I know that my mind is my biggest asset. But do I pamper it, protect it, feed it, nurture it like I should, like I would if my number one thought about it was it's my biggest asset? I think it would be different. My life would be different. How would your life be different if this was the case for you? I find this fascinating. When something hits us and we can get curious and explore how we're showing up in our lives related to how we're thinking about things, right? Something as simple as we know we need to take care of our mind, right? We know that our thoughts create our results. And so we have to be careful. We have to be intentional with our thoughts. But our mind as a whole that absorbs all the things we learn, all the things we observe, all the things we tell it, all the things that we direct it to do, and all the things that we don't direct it when we just let it go off and do its own thing. All of the things that our mind does, are we protecting that? Are we investing in that? Are we nurturing, growing, expanding that? If it was an asset like a diamond or like something in your life that is worth a lot of money, that has a lot of value, that is an asset to you, how do you treat things like that? Right? We usually treat them with the utmost care. But do we do that with our mind? Do we consider it that way? Do we look at our mind as an asset and our biggest asset, our most important asset? And if you did, what in your life would be different? Just imagine that your number one priority is protecting and nurturing and investing in your mind and making sure that it was your number one priority. Everything in your life would be different, would be better, would change for the good, right? Because our mind directs everything. And when we pamper it and we invest in it, it's what creates all of the change in our life. So this is one of those topics that I had mentioned a few weeks ago, I think, about how we learn things intellectually. And how much of that do we actually implement? Do we actually take action on? Do we actually learn it to the point where we implement, where we embody, where we integrate the knowledge? We just know it. Yep, my mind should be my biggest asset, or my mind is my biggest asset, but do I treat it that way? Maybe you would agree that, yeah, I agree that my mind is my biggest asset and it's the key to creating all of the results in my life. But do I treat it that way? Do I want to treat it that way? Why wouldn't you want to, right? If it is the key to creating all of our desired results, why wouldn't we absolutely make it our top priority to protect and pamper and invest, nurture our mind, right? And when we do invest in our mind, it isn't one of those things that's like, oh, if we give it a little, we'll get a little, right? It's one of those things that when you invest in your mind, the outcome isn't equivalent. It's much larger. The impact of investing in our mind is explosive results. So it's not a one for one, it's a one to many. We put in a little bit of time, we put in a little bit of nurturing, we invest a little bit. And it increases the output, it increases the results more than what we put in, way more, multiplied more. So it's not worth it. It's not worth the time, right? It's not worth the energy. Now, the top two objections I typically get from my clients or my students is the time, putting in the time for coaching, for self-coaching, for doing the thought work, for putting this stuff into practice. These tools, these tips, the things that I provide, actually doing them, having the time to do them. But what if the time that you invested in your mind came back to you with more energy, more time available, more capacity, more capability, right? Because that is the results of that. That is what happens when we invest in our mind. We're able to think better, think clearer, make better decisions, have more capacity, change our results to whatever it is that we desire if we invest in our mind, if we spend the time doing the thought work, putting the tools into practice, implementation, right? Because when we just know the thing, that's different than implementing the thing. And when we implement the thing, we're actually using our mind, right? We're actually putting our mind to work, which is investing in it. It's like having a car you never drive, or, having something at home like a treadmill that you never get on, right? Like the treadmill doesn't change you unless you get on it, right? We have to put the things into practice. And then that's where we take the knowledge and we implement it, we embody it, we act as if. And that creates the results that we want, the outcomes that we seek, the desired results, the imagined result, imagined experience, right? And that's what we teach here, right? Our thoughts create our results. So we can think it up, we can imagine it, but in between there is those thoughts create the emotions that drive our actions. And that's what creates those results. And that work is the work on our mind, is investing in our mind, feeding it, investing in it, nurturing it, pampering it, like it is this precious asset. And to be able to have it be something, not like a car that you polish and you spend the time making sure it looks and shines and is super clean and the engine runs good and all of that. Like you do all that and it just sits there, right? You don't get anything back out of it when you do that to it. Maybe resale value or market value right down the road. But when you invest in your mind, the work that you do, you see the results of that immediately, right? Because anytime we're working with our mind, working on our thoughts, it's changing our emotional state as we do it. And that changed emotion is what creates the actions that creates the results. So when we understand just conceptually what happens, then we know that investing in our mind is going to come back to us exponentially. And why wouldn't you want to? It's one of those things that as you invest in it, as you build it, expand it, it's yours. It's you. It's what you use every single day. And you keep all of that. So it's an investment well worth your time. And how amazing is that? And what does it take? Maybe some money, maybe some training, maybe some learning, right? And as you're doing that, you're changing, you're creating the version of you that can create the results that you want. And you don't lose that. You don't lose that ability. You don't lose that knowledge, right? When you invest in it, it stays there. It's yours to use always. So it's a worthy investment for sure, right? And it's interesting how we maybe never look at it that way. We're not taught how important it is, right? We protect our mind and we learn that, learning more and continuing to learn is good and, an active mind is a young mind and all of those things, right? We're taught that, but not that it's an asset that can create the change in our lives like how I talk about it. And when you think about it that way, you think about some of the things that especially us coaches teach. It's not taught in school, and it can create your entire dream life. And these concepts aren't taught in school. We're not taught emotional regulation. We're not taught thought work. We're not taught the connection between it all. We're not taught any of that. And if our mind is our biggest asset, it should be our top priority. Where do we learn that? Like we should just know that, right? Like when I heard this, I'm like, well, I should just know that, but that's not how I treat my mind. That doesn't mean that I abuse my mind or that, I neglect my mind, but I don't treat it like an asset. I think that's different. It landed different for me. I'm curious how it lands for you. How do you feel about this topic? Are you ready to treat your mind like an asset and create exponential results in your life? Because that's what's available to us. And that sounds pretty amazing to me. So let me know what you're going to do to treat your mind like an asset, like the asset that it is, like the biggest asset in your life. What's that going to look like for you? I'm excited to hear. I'll see you next week.